Doing today, back again with another video for you guys, and today we're going to be doing my full review of the Moto G4 Plus. But real quick before we jump in, I just want to take some time to talk to you guys about the case that I picked up for it. Now this is the how you say it, Techo case with built-in screen protector. Now this is similar to the Unicorn Beetle cases that I pick up for my devices, and I must say that because I couldn't find a Unicorn Beetle case for this device, this was the next best option, and it actually turned out to be a little cheaper as well. But anyways, that being said, I can easily recommend that if you have a Moto G4 Plus, that you pick this guy up, because trust me guys, this phone has been through the ringer since I picked it up, and it's still in brand new condition, and I think that's in big thanks to this case right here. And really guys, even if you can't find a particular case from a particular brand, just as long as you know what you're looking for, in my particular case, I like cases with built-in screen protectors, then you should be okay. But that being said, I can easily recommend this Techo case for the Moto G4 Plus with built-in screen protector and hardshell TPU. Don't forget guys, links to where to purchase this, as well as links to purchase the device, will be down in the video description. Okay, just wanted to get that one out the way. Toss that off to the side real quick. Now, let's get to the star of the show. Boom. So, jumping right in guys, I want to talk about the build quality and design of this device. Now, from a build quality standpoint, I must say that this device is constructed very, very well. There's no rattling, there's no creaking of any kind, and it actually feels very good in the hand. Now, that being said, it does feel a little bit light for my taste, but the overall texture and materials feel good in the hand, and really, the way they built it, it's almost like it has an edge-to-edge display. It's really hard to describe, but running my fingers across the display, it almost like it has a curved edge there. I'm not sure if it does or not. But overall, the overall build quality on this G4 Plus is really, really good. And the design, for that matter, is really good as well. Now, I really, really like the design because this just epitomizes what I look for in a smartphone. Now, it's nothing flashy. You know, it's not going to turn heads. It's a very materialistic and straightforward design, and you guys know that that's the type of thing that makes it very functional as well. And that's the type of person I am when it comes to smartphones or devices in general. I just want it to be functional and very straightforward and simple, and this design embodies that. So from a build quality and design standpoint, I would say that this phone hits it on the mark. It's really, really good. Now next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the display on this guy. Let me fix the camera a little bit. Now, up front dead center here, we have a 5.5 inch 1080p HD display. And I gotta tell you guys that the display on this guy is really, really good. Now, I had no issues with the display, and it actually gets very, very bright. But let me just go ahead and show you. That's a 5.5 inch 1080p display with a screen density of about 400. Let me let that focus. Yeah, 403. Sorry guys. So, but that being said, in terms of display, I would have to say that this display, again, is really, really good, and I had no issues with it, and it actually gets very bright outdoors. And also, y'all know I'm a little biased when it comes to this one, because 5.5 inch displays are actually my personal favorite screen size. So I picked this guy up, and I took it out the box, and I immediately fell in love with that screen and that display, and honestly, it's really, really good. But let's keep it moving. Now, let's talk about the the hardware and the software in this guy. Let's jump off. Hardware wise, we got 2 gigs of RAM in this guy with 16 gigs of onboard storage. We also have a fingerprint scanner on the front here, which is very, very fast and also very accurate. Okay? Now, one downside to that fingerprint scanner is that it just unlocks the device. It's not going to unlock the device and put it back to sleep. It's just going to unlock the device. But as you can see, it's very, very quick. Put my finger on and it's already turning on. There's no issues with it. Okay? And it's almost spot on every time. But that being said, you will have some issues if your hands are wet or you just got done eating some food. Then you're going to have some issues with that fingerprint scanner. But if your hands are clean and dry, it should almost unlock every time. And again, it was just a little bummer with the fingerprint scanner that it only unlocks and wakes the device. So I can't put the device back to sleep or do anything like that. I can just unlock the device. But it is what it is. And for what it is, it's a very solid fingerprint scanner. But let's keep it moving. Also up front, we have a 5.5-inch display, which is 1080p. We have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, which can record videos at I believe it's 720p HD. And yeah, I think that's it. I will fix that for you if I got it wrong. On the back here, we have a 16 megapixel camera with laser autofocus and LED flash. And this guy can record 540p slow motion videos and 1080p videos at 30 frames per second. So, decent camera, about what you would need in this day and age. Nothing flashy, but decent. And again, when we go under the hood, we have 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage with micro SD card expansion, and it's running 6.0 Marshmallow, so that means you have the ability to use your micro SD card as internal storage. Then you have a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Spoiler, the battery life on this is really, really good. Alright? Processor wise, we have the Snapdragon 617 octa-core processor, and I believe it's the Adreno 330. Let me double check that real quick, just so you guys know. Y'all already know I really hate when I give you guys wrong information. So yes, it's the Snapdragon 617 processor, and it's the Adreno 405. Sorry guys, my mistake. But yeah, that's what we got in terms of processing power and GPUs. And now, when we talk about the software experience, I must say that the software overall is very, very smooth and quick, and I didn't have any issues, and I actually had a ton of apps installed on this guy, and a ton of apps running in the background, and I must say I didn't run into any slowdown or hiccups of that nature, and I've been using this for a while. So the software experience on this is really, really good, and I like the fact that Moto, now owned by Lenovo, has stuck to that very simple and straightforward experience with just the features that you need. So you still have your Moto display, and you have your Moto voice, and you can do things of that nature. So if I turn off the device and it's flat, if I pick it up, I get that at a glance. Now, that is Moto display, but it doesn't. There's not really any sensors, so the only way you're gonna get it to activate is if you pick it up and it moves. Now, I've been using a Moto X Pure Edition for a while now, so I've gotten used to just waving my hand across that display and it waking up and me being able to interact with my device. So the fact that I have to actually lift the device is a little bit of a bummer, but now guys, I know some of y'all might say that makes me a little lazy. I can't just pick up the device real quick. But one way to alleviate that is that with this quick fingerprint scanner, I could just easily, with my phone flat on the table here, and the device off, click that button, I could just easily just touch my finger to it and wake it up. Or, also, I could just touch my thumb to it and wake it up. So, sure, that they kind of dumbed down the Moto display, but it still works. And if I don't want to move my device off the table, it's as simple as touching one finger to the screen, and bam, we in there. So, other than that, it's a very simple, straightforward, and smooth software experience, but I just had to point that out, because you know, if I feel a certain way about something, I gotta point it out to you guys. Other than that, there have been no glitches, stutters, or crashes of any kind. Now, let's move on to the Wi-Fi in this guy. Now, this guy has 802.11b, and N, and it also has support for the 5 GHz band and the 2.4 GHz band. There's no AC Wi-Fi in this guy, but it does support the 5 GHz band and the 2.4 GHz band. And in terms of Wi-Fi, guys, I gotta tell you that this device performs really, really good. Let me go to my results, and you can see now this is the data speeds. The data speeds are actually pretty good, but that's more location dependent and coverage area dependent. The Wi-Fi is really good. This is the 2.4 GHz band here. Alright. And right here, this is the 5 GHz band. So I had no issues when it came to Wi-Fi. No issues whatsoever. Now what I want to do for you guys is load up a quick video, so you guys can see it for yourself, the Wi-Fi performance, and get a sample of the speaker. Now, I say speaker because it has one front-facing speaker, which also doubles as your receiver, and then you have your mic down here, so you could talk into it to take phone calls. Alright, so now let me line up some non-copyrighted music here. Let me see, let's use this one.
That was not it.
Alright. Alright. And let me just double check. Okay. Alright, so this should work. Now, real quick before I let y'all enjoy the music, I'm just going to demo this at 50% volume and 100% volume, and we're going to scrub through parts of the video so you can see how the Wi-Fi performs. Right, just wanted to get that out the way. So let me put this at 50% volume. That looks about right. And enjoy, guys. Alright, so you guys can see right there that the Wi-Fi performance on this is really, really good. So you should have no issues when it comes to the Wi-Fi, no issues whatsoever. Now, let's talk about the bands in this guy. And you know what? I'm not even going to go through it. I'm going to just tell you guys right now. This guy works on every major carrier in the U.S. and their subsidiaries. So if you want to use on T-Mobile, go ahead, get you a T-Mobile SIM. If you want to use on AT&T, go ahead, get you an AT&T SIM. If you want to use it on Verizon, get that Verizon SIM. You know what I'm saying? Sprint, same thing. And any of their subsidiaries. So Cricket, Boost, there's a bunch of them. IO or AO, any of them. As long as it should work. I'm just tell y'all, it's gonna work. And I like that. I like that Motorola started doing that, and I like that Lenovo continued that, because that makes this device that much more versatile, in my opinion. Alright? Now, let's keep it moving. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the GPS in this guy. I mean, not the GPS, I skipped one. The Bluetooth in this guy. Now, Bluetooth-wise, I believe this guy has Bluetooth 4.0 in it. And I must say, guys, that I had no issues with the Bluetooth connecting up headphones, connecting up speakers. And y'all already know the radio in my car is broken, so I have to connect up a Bluetooth speaker if I want to use my phone to do turn-by-turn navigation or listen to music. And I must say, in my car, I had no issues connecting up to Bluetooth and no issues streaming or interacting with my phone or streaming my music. So the Bluetooth in here is actually really, really good. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the GPS in here. Now, GPS wise, guys, I must tell you that this guy is really, really good as well. And I've had no issues with the GPS in here. No issues whatsoever. Okay, hold on, let me find my things real quick. Albums. Benchmarks. So I could just show you guys. Boom. And again, the GPS in here is really good, and it locked on within seconds. And I had no issues with the GPS or turn-by-turn navigation or anything that involves using the GPS. No issues whatsoever. So if you're GPS dependent like myself, you should have no issues with this guy. Next, let's talk about the call quality and the speaker quality on phone calls. Now, on phone calls, I had no issues. I could hear my callers quite loud, and they were very crisp and clear. The same thing that they said could be had of me. They had no issues hearing me. I actually came through very crisp and clear. Now, on speaker calls, it was much of the same, but I do wish that it got a little bit louder on speaker calls. I found myself pushing that there volume button only to see that it was maxed out. So I wish the speaker calls could have been a little bit louder. But I might just be getting old, guys. I don't know. Now, let's keep it moving. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the cameras on this guy. Now, in the interest of speed, if you want to see camera samples, follow me on Google+. If you want to see video samples, please check out my video samples playlist. That's where the 1080p and the slow-mo will all be. Front-facing camera tests, all that good stuff will be in the video samples playlist. But now, in terms of the camera interface and the features, this is actually very straightforward with a twist. Now, gone is the old Moto experience where it was just tap to click, tap to take the picture, all that good stuff. You had your little scroll wheel over here. That's all gone. It's been redesigned, but still kept in a simple nature. So you still have access to all of your things over here. Take off shutter sound, control the photo size and the format. So to take full advantage of the 16 megapixels, you're gonna have to shoot in that 4:3 aspect ratio. Y'all already know I don't like that, so I'm gonna have to bump it down here to that, get that widescreen there, bump it down, lose a few megapixels. And right here you can see that it does record video in 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p and standard HD. Alright, so that's all you need to know in here. You have your quick capture. So let's say your phone was off, you just double tap that, double tap the power button here, if I could do it, and it launches you right into the camera. But also you still have your twist. So you got two different ways to get into the camera. If you want to take a quick video or a quick photo, it's as easy as deciding, do I want to press or do I want to twist? So that's pretty cool. Now you have your standard loadout. You got your HDR, you got your flash, you got your timer, all that good stuff. Now, if you twist again, take it to the front facing camera. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? And on the front facing camera, it's pretty much more of the same. You got a 5 megapixel front facing camera. And to take full advantage of that 5 megapixel front facing camera, you're going to have to get used to shooting at that 4:3 aspect ratio there. Let me let that focus. Alright, but if you want that widescreen, you're going to have to take a little megapixel hit and bump it down to 3.8 megapixels. Again, it's more of the same. You can't do slow motion video on the front facing camera there. So that is what it is. But if we switch it back to, let me jump it back around here so I can show you guys. The slow-mo video is 540p at 120 frames. Right? Now, you do have access to different modes right here. So you jump into video mode right there. More of the same there. And you have your panel mode, you got your slow-mo mode, and you got your professional mode. Right? So you could tweak just about everything and get the camera to your liking. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this actually came in handy because out of the box, in auto mode, I found that the camera was either overexposing or underexposing. So my videos and photos either came out really dark or really light. And then I was having issues with focus because of that exposure. So I really had to jump in here and mess around with these settings and get it to my likings. Y'all will probably notice that if you watch any of the videos on my channel that came out recently, because I used this camera for most of those videos. So if I didn't tell you in the video, this was the camera that I was using. So it's good and it's bad because I'm a big fan of just being able to take whatever camera I have on me out of my pocket and just shoot or record a video. I'm not a big fan of having to dive into settings and, tweak things to get it to perform right. So it's good that I have that type of control, but it's bad that it takes away from the quick capture and auto features. I just want to be able to take my phone camera out or take out any camera in general and just do what I want to do with it. I don't want to have to dive deep. Okay? So it's good and it's bad, but that's the cameras and the camera experience. Again, for photo samples, follow me on Google+. For video samples, please check out my video samples playlist. Now, let's keep it moving. Now, this is the part where I talk about gaming. But in the interest of speed, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to demo for you guys. Now, I tested a slew of games, and these two actually became my favorite. I'm addicted to these now. I wasn't a heavy gamer, but I'm addicted to these two games. So that's Asphalt 8 and CSR Classic. But I tested Fruit Ninja. What else? I tested Fruit Ninja and I tested Subway Surfers. And all these games ran without issue. Okay? So if you're a casual gamer like myself and you just want to play the casual games, you should have no problem. Now, I can't really attest to the 3D gaming experience because I didn't load up games like Moto Combat or Real Racing 3. I just kept it very casual because I don't do a lot of gameplay on my phones. But when I do, these were the two games that I was playing a large majority of the time, and the GPU handled them without issue. That Adreno 408 GPU handled them without issue. So you're not going to have a problem playing games if you're a casual gamer like myself. Now next, let's get into the benchmarks here. And y'all already know how I feel about benchmarks. They're just numbers. But what really matters is the right combination of software and hardware that equals a good user experience. But anyways, diving in, because y'all know I like to feature the numbers. On the 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited test, it scored a 9,678. On Antutu, it scored a 42,204. Oops. On Geekbench 4, it scored a 661 for the single core and a 759 for the multi-core. Alright, for Quadrant, it scored a 24,798. On the Volemo Metal test, it scored a 1283. On the Volemo Multi-Core test, it scored a 1419. And then this is just a collage of all the benchmarks. Let me get that to focus in if you want to see all the benchmarks. And I actually skipped one. Now that I saw the collage. Now this is using the Disco Mark benchmark. And really what it is just a multitasking benchmark. So what I did is I just ran all the apps that I use on a daily basis. And I ran them through this benchmark. And it cycled through it. And it spit out a time. So not bad. Kind of slow. But not bad. And I actually noticed that while I was running this benchmark, that some of the apps had to reload quite often. And I think that's due to the 2 gigs of RAM in this guy. You know, more RAM would have definitely helped, but it doesn't hinder the overall daily performance, so it's not a problem. Alright, so that pretty much does it for the benchmarks. Now, let's talk about battery life and overall charge times. Before we dive in, I'm a little sad. I'm a little upset. The turbocharger provided with this guy, although it does charge at a turbo rate, it charges a lot slower than the original turbocharger that came with my Moto XP edition. So 9 times out of 10, I actually found myself using my Moto XP edition turbocharger to get those nice crispy speeds. Just wanted to point that out. But in terms of battery life, you guys already know I have my usage scenarios. So I got my light, my medium, and my heavy. And this past holiday season / New Year season, I was pretty much going into this phone heavy all the time. So that much being said, my results is pretty much with heavy usage. I couldn't really dial it back this time, guys. Sorry. But if you're a light to medium user, you should be able to get through the day and have battery to spare, okay? The battery life on this guy is actually really, really good. And I found that with heavy use, I was able to get between 6 and 7 hours of on-screen time and easily get through the day, okay? Easily. And then let me just show y'all, so you can't be like, oh man, he's just talking, he didn't really get that. Let me just pull it up real quick. Go to these battery stats here. So that was a lighter day. You'll see the screen was on 12% of the time, and I easily coasted through the day. And you see I still got almost 4 hours of screen on time. And this was a moderately heavy day. And you can see, easily. And I almost cracked 5 hours of screen on time there. And now we're getting into the heavier days. 7 hours of screen on time. Slightly over 7 hours of screen on time. Another heavy day. 6 hours and 1 minute of screen on time. So you guys can see, there it is again. Another heavy day. 6 hours and 14 minutes of screen on time. So I've been getting it in with this, guys. And it really depends on what type of day that I have. But I almost always make it through the day, make it through a whole day, and don't have any issues. And the turbocharger, even though it is slower, it does charge up my device at a fast pace. So about an hour charge and I'm good to go. Be back to full, or an hour and a half if it's completely dead. Hour and a half get you back to full. Now I'm sad because with the turbocharger, you already know completely dead to full is going to be just a little bit over an hour and 10 minutes. 10% to full is probably like an hour. 20% to full is like 45 minutes. So I take a little bit of a hit in charge times, but the overall charging experience is pretty good. And the fact that the 3000 milliamp hour battery in this guy is really good means I'm not spending a ton of my time on the charger connected to a wall. I'm out there using my device, doing what I want to do, and that's what counts. So the battery life and the charge times in this guy is actually really good. Next, let's talk about the price and give you guys my final thoughts and a recommendation or two. Now, I didn't do what I usually do. Usually order these type of things offline. Nah, not this time. I sold my iPhone 6, and so I decided that I didn't want to place an order online. I wanted to go somewhere and get a device that day and have something to record that day. I didn't want any downtime. I just wanted a quick turnaround. So I went to Best Buy, and thank you to Best Buy for having some really good customer service and some really good florist people. And so I went to Best Buy, and I was thinking, what do I want to get? What do I want to get? So I pulled up one of my deals videos, and I was like, okay, what have I reviewed? What haven't I reviewed? So I'm like, okay, let's get the Moto G4 Plus. So, went to Best Buy, talked to a representative, he hooked me up, 16 gigabyte model. I was actually looking for the 4 gigabyte and the 64 gigabyte internal model, but they said that they didn't stock those in the store. So, I was a little sad